Welcome to Awakening Mindfulness at Work, a conversation that matters. I'm Pierre Cowant.
And I'm Sarah Killeen. We are bringing to you conversations and practices to cultivate presence, calm, and balance in the workplace.
In our previous two episodes on the topic of to-do lists, we've been exploring having a different relationship with our to-do list. So in the first episode, we looked at 3 ways to lighten the to-do list. And then in the second episode, we explored how to transform it into a today's intentions list. So a more mindful way of approaching our work. And also we discussed the how to engage with the to-do list. So not just the what to do, but also the how to do it. And today, I'd like to take this conversation one step further. So, first, we're going to begin with 2 simple practices that can make a meaningful difference in the way we experience our day. And then I'd like to share what I jokingly call 3 radical ideas for your to do list. So let's start with the 2 simple practices, simple but very meaningful and powerful. So the first one is the practice of doing the difficult thing first. So doing the difficult thing first. Sarah and I actually dedicated a whole episode to this specific practice. But in summary, the idea is whenever possible to do the difficult thing first. A conversation you've been avoiding, the report you've been postponing, the decision you've been circling around. So a quote that comes to mind, and I think we shared it also in our previous episode, only do what's easy and life gets hard. Do what's hard and life gets easy. So there's something liberating about removing the biggest emotional weight early in the day. Very often, it's not the task itself that drains us, it's actually carrying it around in our mind and in our heart for so long. So that was the first practice. Now, the second practice is celebrating every effort and, of course, every completion. This is a practice that's so easy to actually overlook. The idea is to make one pause, to take a moment to acknowledge what you've done. Our minds are so good at noticing what's still unfinished, but they often rush right past what we've already accomplished. So, after finishing a task or even part of a task, just pausing for a moment and letting that positive feeling of accomplishment sink in, no matter how small the accomplishment is. So notice what you finished. Notice that conversation you had and how you contributed positively to that conversation or that problem you have solved. So the moments when you notice, those register and become the basis for our positivity and our motivation. Yes, so instead ending the day with, I didn't do enough, you just start to realize that actually, oh, I accomplished quite a bit. And that shift matters because motivation grows from progress and not from self-judgment. So those were the couple of practices, doing the difficult thing first, and second, acknowledging and celebrating every progress. So now the 3 radical ideas. And let's have a little fun here. These are not rules, they're just invitations or even food for thought or potentially experiments. So you can call them experiments But sometimes stepping outside our usual habits or what we consider logical and serious helps us see things more clearly. So let's start with radical idea number one, which is put the to do list aside and go play. So put the to do list aside and go play. Yes, no matter how loud the to do list is screaming, get away from it and go play. Whatever play means for you, move your body, go for a long walk, spend time in nature, or have a meaningful conversation. Create something, be a maker, build something, or cook something, draw, dance, play music, and laugh, or rest for a more extended period of time. So yeah, do something that makes you feel fully alive. One of my favorite kind of funny quotes, often attributed to Lewis Evans, says, actually I do have a post-it for it here. It says, could this meeting be a Zoom? Could this Zoom be a phone call? Could this phone call be an email? Could this email be a text? Could this text be unsent? And then he says, could we in silence retreat to the forest? So hopefully that made you smile a little bit. It's actually a nice reminder about how much of our day can become automatic. And here's the interesting part. We often believe productivity comes first, and then we will have time for things that create energy. But very often, energy creates productivity. When we reconnect with what energizes us, that's when we actually return to our important work with more clarity, with more creativity, with more focus, and that's when we accomplish so much more. So the time we spend playing isn't lost, it's a time well invested and likely to pay off big time. Okay, radical idea number two. Are you ready for this? So this will be to throw away your to-do list. So not just put it aside, throw it away. I warned you, these are radical ideas, but please entertain them just for a moment for now. So yes, throw it away. Or if you want to really make a ceremony out of it, maybe even burn it. So why? Because sometimes our to-do list becomes a museum of old commitments, of lots of noise that's hiding the important things. Um, and these could be ideas that no longer matter, projects that we've outgrown, obligations we've never questioned, or tasks stalled by our perfectionism and wanting to do them right. So think about it this way. Sometimes the list isn't helping us remember, it's preventing us from reconsidering, from thinking fresh. So imagine beginning with a completely blank page, and now with the blank page, ask yourself, what actually deserves to be on my list? If I were creating this list from scratch, what would I put on it? You'll probably discover that many items never make it back to the list, and some new and more fruitful items take priority, or new items emerge. A blank page could be a remarkable way of revealing what really matters. So, one more. So, this is radical idea number three. And this one is perhaps the most transformative, which is graduating from a to do list kind of way of thinking into a project matrix. Let me explain what we mean by this. So, Um, it's another concept, actually, that Sarah and I teach in our workshops. And the idea is, instead of carrying around this endless list, creating a simple 2 week priority matrix. So ask yourself, what are the key priorities and outcomes that truly matter during the next 2 weeks? And then break them down into smaller, more manageable steps. And then schedule, and these would be the next steps, the first things you need to do on each of these priorities. And then schedule time for them on your calendar and protect that time. Everything else becomes secondary. So here is the distinction between the to-do list and the priority matrix. A to-do list often reflects the past, or what we thought in the past about the present and the future. So it's a collection of everything that accumulated based on the old data and old thinking. A priority matrix is about intentional choice about the present and the future. And what we think now meaning with our current latest knowledge and intuition about the present and the future. And in this case, when we say future, we're saying very short term future, which is 2 weeks. So putting a container on it. So this invites us to be thoughtful, and in the 2 week time frame is something that's close enough to feel real and relevant and also achievable. So as we wrap up this 3-part series, here is what I would like you to remember. A to-do list is just a tool. It's not our identity. It's not a measure of our worth, and certainly should not become the manager of our life. Our life is bigger than the to-do list. Our relationships, our health, our creativity, our joy, they matter most. And there are many ways we can take charge. So hopefully this series of episodes provided you with some ideas and the motivation to take action. So let's take action. And thank you for listening.